Well, we're about, what are we, 14th, sometimes 13th in terms of overall payroll. The size of our metro market and the size of our TV market are well below that in terms of, the amount of people that are available to watch the Orioles. So we already field a very competitive payroll. To the extent that our resources grow in the market, we put that back into the baseball operation. We put it into scouting. We put it into the Major League payroll. So to the extent that there's additional revenues there, the payroll will go up.
More runs than in 2014, to be closer to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You had most of the same pitchers back on the staff. What's the biggest difference based on what you saw from 2014,
Yeah.
especially that second half? So you're having Bud Norris come in and completely improve and other guys not be as successful as they were before.
Yeah, there's certain things you look at. I mean, through the years, I'm one of those guys that looks at the error column at the end of a game, and if you lose that column, more times than not, you lose. But I think just to throw a blanket and say everything, we didn't play well on the road this year. I thought it was a big part, and that's really a byproduct of pitching. It really is. We didn't score. You look at our offense on the road compared to home, and some things, we're supposed to find answers for them. We're supposed to know them, and some of them make you scratch your head. But we weren't any less prepared. We weren't any, sometimes you go through periods, but that was very frustrating because, I'm not going to get into health issues because they come across as excuses, and this guy repeating that, people's performance compared to the year before. I mean, if we could predict all that, we'd know exactly what's going to happen each year, and that's what makes it fun. But we've got some work to do in the pitching department. But that's not just it. That's not it. We didn't do some things well offensively for an extended period of time, especially on the road, which could have, last year what happened a lot is we offset something that was missing that night. We didn't pitch well that day. We scored a lot of runs. We didn't score a lot of runs that day. We pitched real well. And that's you've got to have. You're not going to have it all hunky-dory all year. You've got to offset what you're challenged with that night with another phase of the game. We didn't do that well.
Dan, you said about a month or two about the season ticket holder thing that of the free agents you stand to lose, Chris Davis was the highest priority. Does he remain the highest priority in your mind of those guys that you're about to lose?
Have I lost him yet?
You could lose?
We like Chris Davis. He had a great year, and he's been a core player for us.
What's funny is there were times this year when people wouldn't have felt that way. Okay, Chris finished with a flurry. Okay, and God bless him. It was fun to watch. But it's really an education for all of us how things. There's an ebb and flow to everything. But would like to have him, see what happens. But as a group that. What are we supposed to do? Pull the dirt in around us? We're going to have a good competitive team next year. You're going to like some things.
The strength of our team has been the defense for the last 4 years. Okay, Buck puts a lot of emphasis on that. It was good again this year. Our bullpen was strong, and we also had a lot of power. We could do a better job of finding guys that get on base, and that's going to be one of our priorities this offseason. So that, when you need a run or when you hit a home run, you got a guy on base. So there's a lot of work to be done. In addition to the pitching staff, we got to staff the position so that we maintain the top quality defense. But, again, we have some things to build on. We got a decent talent base in our organization already. We had some pluses in the minor leagues. The AAA club won their division. They came within a game of winning the International League. The AA club won the Eastern League. They have a talent base there. You got some good players in Mancini. This kid Cisco, the catcher at AA, is highly regarded by other organizations. And I can tell you, we got a lot better players in our farm system than the perceived value of those players out there. And you'll see next year when we get to spring training, you'll see some good young players come up through the Oriole farm system.
Dan, last year, Dan, you said essentially the same thing about the OBP late in the middle of the winter, and you wanted to improve the OBP of the club. It went down and not up. Does that mean that you'll be focusing on a higher, I want to say a higher dollar, because when we talk about free agents and stuff, it's really about the money. Does that mean that one of your focuses would be to get a couple kinda?
Well, we need to upgrade our on-base capability. You know, I mean, that's where it starts. You got to get them on before you get them over, before you get them in. And a lot of that comes at the hiring level.
Are you both able to talk about the status of the coaching staff today?
Well,
we are.
we're
To us.
we already did.
Yeah, we've been talking about
We
it.
already
We
did.
would like to have them all back, and they know that, and that time of year, I think everybody's kind of taking a few days just to get home, travel, Dan's talked to them, I've talked to them, they understand where we are, and some of them have some decisions to make. We have a good group that are coveted by other people too, and just like they were coveted by us when we got them. So I said before, this is, as a group, the best coaching staff I've been able to have. And, but sometimes there's things that come into play, but none of them will be, from within. We'll look to improve in all areas.
When do you anticipate a resolution to those situations?
The coaching staff? I don't know, we started work on that a couple of months ago, and we met on it again today. We're gonna try to get that resolved as soon as we can. We got a lot of work to do in this offseason in terms of staffing our team, and having a strong coaching staff is a good start.
Dan, this is kind of, I guess, a two-part question, one for you and one for Buck, but, if you talk to some of the players, and obviously there's the pitching or the offensive difference of the offense, but when you look at the chemistry of the team, I mean, it's something that you guys have built very carefully the last couple of years, and then not having guys like Markakis and Cruz, some of the players will tell you that maybe that consistency wasn't there, or that calmness wasn't there at times during low periods. A Davis has been considered a leader. Weeder's certainly a leader. O'Day, definitely a leader in the clubhouse. How important is, for you, how important is that chemistry and at least getting the right pieces together? And Buck, for you, how important is that to have that? So I guess start with you, and is that something you're seeking this offseason?
Well, leadership within the team, I think, is important if you're going to have a championship team, because the ideals of the team and the message points, they need to be reinforced by the players on the team, okay? So as a management team, I always consider it a success when the players start reciting the messages or imitating the coaches and the manager, because then they've really gotten the message. So to me, that's vitally important if you're going to have a good team. The leadership within our team has been fairly stable. It's been fairly stable here for the last couple of years. You've had some good veteran players up the middle. Hardy and Jones have won Gold Gloves. They've won Silver Sluggers, and the club looks to them for leadership. Darren O'Day has been a staple in the bullpen, and players look to him for leadership. Manny Machado, believe it or not, showed a lot of leadership by playing every single game this year and having a terrific year. So to me, leadership is having good players on the team that do the right thing, that have their interest aligned with the team and reinforce the team goals. And we have a number of leaders on this ball club. Buck and his coaches provide strong leadership for the team. We got a lot of people around this organization that are very passionate about winning, and they do the right things and they develop the right habits. And I'm very proud of the leadership we have within our team. These guys show it every day.
Dan, Chen, Weeders, Davis, do you plan on, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Can you answer
No,
that?
ditto, yeah.
So the answer- no.
No, it's just, it's always what comes first, like the chicken and egg, a guy that doesn't play and has terrible stats and gets sent up and down. I mean, what makes a good leader, But it's the consistency of, one, you gotta win games. You gotta be a return for what you're asking them to buy into. And it's gotta be important to them, and it's very important. So, as people come and go in every organization, the consistency of that comes from the new people, the young people that are coming up that have been exposed to what you hope the culture's about. And, I know a lot of times people, what makes you mentioned Chris Davis in that message, in that voice. Is it his statistics or what he has to say or the way he conducts himself, you know? Same thing with Darren and Adam, you know, what comes first? Is it, what provides the voice? The fact that you hit 40-something home runs or the fact of what you're saying? It's two different things. And, you know, we feel like if you're depending on one guy to be that guy all the time, you probably got the wrong group. We have a good, strong group, and we have some people coming from below that are going to be part of that group. You know, in a perfect world, we'd be a completely self-sustaining organization. When our trainer decides to, or our pitching coach decides to do this, or our hitting coach decides to retire, the guy that's the coordinator should be able to take that job. You'd like to be self-sufficient. So when our third baseman went away, well, here comes Manny. Our second baseman retired, Brian Roberts, so to speak, and here comes Jonathan. You know, you hope that there's a stepping stone to all that. That's the ideal world. It doesn't always work that way, though, and you get a Nelson Cruz, who the baseball world wasn't too keen on, and all of a sudden he started hitting a lot of home runs and had a heck of a voice here and used it well. So I'm just reminded that that's what comes first there.